Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be doing three major topics of chapter 3 emerging trends, and those topics are related to the immersive experiences, mainly the augmented reality and virtual reality. And after covering these two topics, we'll also be covering robotics. So we are doing NCERT class 11th computer science with Python, and this is chapter 3. We started with chapter 3 in the previous video. So let's continue with this chapter and today study about the immersive experiences. So when we talk about immersive experiences, what do we actually mean is any kind of technology that stimulates your senses. That means it makes you feel, visualize more the things around us, or made to be they seem to be more real than they actually are. So basically, technologies that are incorporated or that are a part of immersive experiences make your artificial environment more realistic and they engage you more. And how do they do so? They engage you by increasing your involvement, by making you feel that the things or the environment around you is very real, although it is not as real. Such experiences create a world which does not exist, but they make you feel that you are in that virtual world. Virtual basically means something that is actually not there, but it makes you feel that you are a part of that particular reality that is virtually present, that has been generated by computer. Okay, so basically it makes a connection with our senses. Now that can be in the form of how we feel, how we interact, how we engage, or how different senses are stimulated when we are a part of any immersive experience. So this will be more clear to you when we talk about main examples of immersive experiences, which are your 3D movies. In 3D movies, you have experiences like the sound coming from all around you. Sometimes there are seats and you have a gush of air coming behind from beneath your seats, or some objects just running past your head. So it feels like as if you are in that environment in which the movie or action is happening, but actually you are not. You are in theater. Okay. Similarly, there are driving simulators, whether it is car driving or aeroplane driving. So when a pilot is trained, he or she is not directly given an airplane to fly. He or she first has to go through a simulator, a plane simulator, in which there is a proper runway and there are controls in your hands, and you are made to feel as if you are actually flying a plane. So you are part of something that does not actually exist, but through technology you are made to feel through your senses. That means through your eyes, nose, your the controls that are given to you. Just like in video games also, you are made to feel as if you are a part of it, as if you are playing, you are the player in the game. Okay, so the first type of immersive experience that is most common is virtual reality, or what we say VR. Okay, virtual again refers to something that is not real, that is generated by the computer, and as its definition also states, it is a computer generated three-dimensional world. Why specifically three-dimensional? Because it surrounds you completely. It makes you feel that everything around you is much more real than it is. So these days you also have 7D movies, 8D movies. So what does that mean? It is enhancing more and more senses of your of you, and it is making the experience more close to reality. Okay, it is imitating the real world. It is trying to replicate and copy the elements of the real world. So if you are walking past a region in which there are clouds, the movie will make you surround with that slight windy environment. You know, it will make you feel that. Or if you are watching a horror movie, it will make you feel that, or that you are just going through a door or very dark place, and elements like that. Okay, So in virtual reality, you are again interacting with the environment, you are interacting with its objects, you are performing actions because you feel that things are more real. Okay. And to experience virtual reality, basically there are devices known as virtual reality headsets or VR headsets. These are like a bigger version of, you can say, goggles or swimming goggles that you wear across your eyes and you wrap the band around your head, and through those headsets you see a world, and you think that you are a part of that world. Okay, so VR headsets are becoming a very common, um, they are having a very common application in real estate also these days. So since in today's times you are not able to, or it is not possible for you to visit every property that you want to see, that you want to go through before purchasing, VR headsets allow you to be a part of that property, to take a virtual tour of that property and see what are the elements present in that house that you might be interested into. Okay. Another application of VR headsets is in gaming, definitely in military training and medical procedures. Again, doctors might not be given a full human patient to operate on or to learn difficult complex procedures. In those cases, VR or virtual reality is finding its applications more and more as the day progresses. Okay. And the second kind of immersive experience that we see nowadays is augmented reality. So the word augment itself means to add something. And a major difference between virtual reality and augmented reality is that virtual reality creates an environment around you that is not real. However, augmented reality does not create anything new. It does not create anything that does not exist. Okay, it only augments the existing environment, the existing physical world with something additional. Okay, so it adds more information to the elements of the physical world that already exist around you. And what can be those elements? So suppose you are a tourist and you are visiting a historical monument, or you are visiting a tourist or basically any destination or a mall, and things are written in the regional language. So how will you interpret those, or how can augmented reality help you in such a situation? So you can just, if your smartphone is AR enabled, it has the application that understands or runs on augmented reality, you can just slide your smartphone across the shops and it will it will give you more information about those physical elements that exist around you. So it will tell you, as you visit the tourist place or you explore the monument, it will tell you more interesting facts about each and everything, just like a physical guide or a tour tour operator that you have, right? You hire guides on your visit to certain places that you do not know at all. So it can just add more information to the existing physical world. And there are existing AR apps for travelers, for tourists who visit various exotic destinations and stuff like that. Okay. Now coming to the second topic of our day, in this we'll be studying about robotics. So before going into robotics, you first must know what is a robot. So a robot is any machine that has the ability to perform some function on its own. And when I say on its own, it basically means that definitely it can be controlled using computer generated programs. You can give an instruction to the robot and you can instruct it what it has to do, but a simple instruction, after giving that, you do not worry about how the robot would be doing that, because the robot has already been programmed and it knows how to follow that instruction. So basically, when you build a robot, you are basically building a software in which based on the command and the input that the robot receives through the sensors that it has, that means how the way in which it perceives its environment as well as the instruction that it is being given, based on all those things, it executes the correct programs that has been installed or written into it, and it performs the task automatically. So you just need to instruct and to forget how the robot will perform. You have already done that. The robots have already been programmed. So there are robots for cleaning your house these days. There are robots for playing music for you. You just need to tell them which music, and they'll search for it, and they'll perform the task. You need not worry about anything else. And there are robots for much complex operations. So there are different types of robots also. If the robot is moving around your house and it has wheels on it, and at the base of it, it is known as a wheeled robot. Okay, if it has human like legs, then it is known as the legged robot. Okay, and if it looks like a human, its shape, its structure is like a human, mostly a human face and a human body with arms and a proper human face and even legs, then it's known as a human robot or a humanoid. Okay, and the most common humanoid that we see these days, or it's famous, is Sophia. Sophia basically uses artificial intelligence to answer your questions, to respond to you. It also tries to perform human like gestures. Okay, and it has facial expressions. It can also recognize a person because it has the capability of face recognition as well. Okay, so Sophia uses AI, and we have studied AI in the past lecture. So if you have any confusions, or if you want to study about that, you can refer to that lecture. I'll also put this up in the cards above. Okay, now another complex and important robot that finds its application in space is NASA's Mars rover. So it's basically an expedition, or it's a robot that will be exploring different parts of Mars. So we have gone till the space in terms of robotics. And another common application that you will find around you is the drone. Drone is basically uh, uh, um, a kind of helicopter, but it is unmanned. That means it does not have any human inside it. It is still flying. It covers different geographical locations, but it is being controlled by a remote, or it is flying using certain embedded softwares. Now we have also studied embedded softwares in the previous lecture. I'll put up the card for that also. You can link to that. So a drone is basically unmanned machine. That means it is operated simply via a robot, via a remote, or it flies based on the instructions that are given to it or from the embedded software that it has written inside it. And it has sensors like GPS, and it has other sensors, whether it has reached a particular area, or whether it is to maintaining the height, maintaining the speed, and so on. Okay, you might have seen drones in military operations, or even in certain you can say marriages these days for photography. That is a very interesting application that you find around you, and that comes from AI. So that's all for today. I hope you like this lecture. If you want to see more of such interesting lectures and cover class 11 topics from computer science, stay tuned to our series. Please subscribe the channel if you like this video and you want to stay updated with the new videos that we upload. If you understood the content, please give us a like button. It really motivates us. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next video, in which we'll be covering big data, its characteristics, its usage, and why and how is it different from traditional data. So thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video. Mind your exam.